yes, I think alternative fees are the momentum in support of, and the use have clearly picked up speed. It's a function of the current economic environment, and now both law firms and in-house legal departments have a real need. They need to look for those win-wins. The inside legal departments are looking for certainty in billing, and they're willing to incentivize the firms with bonuses and rewards for outstanding results, and at the same time they want efficiency. So these forces are kind of coming together to suggest that something better than the hourly rate should be utilized.
I'd have to agree. I think the pressures on law departments now to be efficient are really forcing their hand. There's been a lot of discussion in the past about what some people refer to as the evils of the hourly rate, or at least the disincentives of the hourly rate, or the wrong incentives of the hourly rate. And there's been a lot of discussion about alternative fees, but there has not been much really advancement in that regard, and the hourly rate has still been the predominant, by far, method of billing for law firms. But the need now to really prove to management, corporate management, that the law department is looking at the bottom line as vigorously as the rest of the company is, has really forced the hand of both the law departments on the one hand as well as law firms on the other, so that I think using the alternative fee arrangement in order to better reflect the value that the legal service adds to, or at least provides to, the company is critical, and I think there has been a marked upswing, certainly in interest in and some experimentation with alternative fee arrangements.
Any litigation of any significance takes perhaps years to resolve, so both parties need to go into it with an eye that this is a dynamic situation and it needs to be revisited, because sometimes the way it was originally assumed or constructed won't necessarily be in both parties' best interest as the litigation plays out. So we, the in-house lawyer, have to be sympathetic to the firm who's saying that it's not working for me, I'm losing money. And on the other hand, the firm has to be very forthright with respect to the fact that they're making perhaps more than they should under the circumstances or given where the case is. So it's dynamic. It needs to be one that they both invest in, the parties, with an eye to making it work for both the company and the law firm.
I'd have to agree. I think that a good alternative fee arrangement will, of necessity, be based on certain assumptions by the client and assumptions by the law firm as to the amount of work, the types of work, etc. In litigation, it might be the number of depositions you expect to take. It might be the number of motions you might have to file. And if the environment for that case changes, if a decision comes down from another court that affects the claims, you will have to adapt. And so you have to know what your assumptions are. You have to make those explicit and make sure everybody is on board with them and agrees with them, so that if those assumptions have to be changed by virtue of changing context, then everybody's able to revisit them, as Tom suggests, in a spirit of working it out to everybody's, if not satisfaction, at least to everybody's needs. So, it is unfortunately a situation where nothing, remains the same for very long. That's just the nature of what law departments are responsible for managing. And recognizing that explicitly, I think, is an important part of the equation.